Hey kids! This week I've been out fishing, and fishing is hard work. We fish using these big nets that we throw into the water, and then we let them sink down, and we pull the corners of the nets up to make a big basket. And everything that we catch inside of the net, we take to the market to sell to people in the village so that they can eat, and then we get money for the fish so that we can look after our families. Yesterday, when I was in the market, I heard about a guy that's in town. Everyone's been talking about him. His name is Jesus. People seem to think that he's pretty amazing. He's a teacher who is talking to everyone, which is really strange, because usually teachers only want to teach to really smart people. People who really want to learn. But I heard that he is talking to everyone. I even heard that he's talking to people that I don't like. People that steal from me and my friends. I don't know why everyone likes this guy. If he's talking to all of these people, even people that I don't like, why should I like him? I don't think he should be talking to them. They aren't good people. I don't know. I hear that he's a great teacher. I hear that he's really amazing, but then he's doing stuff that I don't like. I don't know. Oh, we're getting a catch. I gotta go get back to fishing. Hopefully there will be lots of fish to pull up. Why don't you go and watch the video about Jesus while I go doing some fishing? Enjoy!
Jesus' ministry had begun. He traveled around preaching about God and telling people to turn away from their sins. People started talking about Jesus and the things he was teaching. They were interested in what Jesus had to say. Large crowds followed Jesus around and listened to him teach. One day, Jesus was walking along the Sea of Galilee. He saw two brothers, Simon, who was called Peter, and Andrew. Peter and Andrew were fishermen. Jesus called out to them, "Follow me, and I will teach you to fish for people." Right away, Peter and Andrew dropped their nets and followed Jesus. Later, he saw two more brothers. Their names were James and John. They were in a boat, fixing nets with their father, Zebedee. Jesus called out to them, and right away they got up, left their father and the boat, and followed Jesus. Jesus went on and saw a man named Matthew, who was also called Levi. Matthew was sitting at the tax office. Matthew was a tax collector. Many people didn't like tax collectors because tax collectors were unfair. Jesus called out to him, "Follow me." So Matthew got up, left everything behind, and followed Jesus. Matthew had a big feast for Jesus at his house. Many tax collectors and sinners came to eat with Jesus and his disciples. The religious leaders saw this, and they didn't think Jesus should be friends with people who did wrong things. They complained to the disciples, "Why does your teacher eat and drink with tax collectors and sinners?" Jesus heard the religious leaders and said, "People who are healthy don't need a doctor, but people who are sick do. I did not come to invite good people. I came to invite sinners to turn back to God." Later, Jesus gathered his followers together and chose 12 of them to be his disciples. Jesus' apostles would work closely with Jesus and would go out to tell others about him. These are the men Jesus chose: Simon, who was called Peter, Simon's brother Andrew, James and John, who were called the sons of thunder, Philip and Bartholomew, Matthew and Thomas, James and the son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot. Jesus came to earth to show what God is like and to save people from their sins. This is great news. Jesus told his disciples to tell others about him, and we are Jesus' disciples when we trust in him. Everyone in the world needs to hear the good news about Jesus.
Oh, hey kids, welcome back. Did you hear about Jesus? I saw him. He showed up here at the sea and asked my friends Peter and Andrew to go with him. I don't know why they did, but they dropped everything. They dropped their nets and followed right after him. I mean, yeah, he was cool and everything, but they gave up everything and put him first. That seems like a big task. Whew. And now I'm stuck with all this extra work. I gotta bring in the nets by myself. I got a few guys here to help, but the nets are getting all tangled up. I have to go, I can't. I have to go and clean up these nets. But I have an activity for you to do while I do that. I'm gonna show you two pictures on the screen. They look almost exactly the same, except there are a few differences between the two. Can you find the 7 differences in these pictures? Hit pause on the screen until you find the 7, and then I'll show you the answer. How about that? I'm going to go and clean up my nets, try to get them untangled and ready for use and catching more fish while you do that. Were you able to find all 7 changes in the pictures? Great job at finding all those changes. You know, I got everything cleaned up and put away. It's been a long day. But I couldn't help but think about when Jesus came here to the sea and he called all those people, my fishing friends, to go and to follow him. They were in for a drastic change in their lives. They left their job and their friends and even their family and left to go and follow Jesus and learn from him. You know, I know he wants me and he wants you and all of us to follow him too. And I've seen when people follow Jesus, their lives change. Kids, when you follow Jesus and you do what he asks and you begin to love God and you love people the way that Jesus teaches us to love people, our lives become so much better. I know that the lives of my friends and all the other people who follow Jesus are going to be great because Jesus is a good teacher. And he will teach them how to love. Kids, when we follow Jesus, we love people, just like Jesus did. Remember, in the story and what I said earlier, Jesus didn't just hang out with the good people. He didn't just teach the good students. He loved people that other people didn't want to love. He hung out with people that others wanted to avoid. Who are people that you might sometimes avoid or not want to love? How can you come up with new ways to love more people this week? Next week is Valentine's Day. Maybe you can show some of your friends or classmates or family members how much you care about them and love them this week. I hope so, because when we show love, our lives are better, because Jesus taught us that. Well, kids, this Jesus, he sounds pretty great. I think I'm going to go find him and follow him and see if I can learn more from him too. I'll go see, and I'll meet you back here next week and let you know what he's teaching, okay? That sounds great. Bye, kids.